Hey, what's up? Ian here, and today I'd like to talk about this Kiwiears Dolce. It is a single dynamic driver IEM, and its retail price is $25 and it's available on Lenso's website. So if you guys want to find out more, do check out the unaffiliated link in the description below. So in this video, I will go through the accessories, design, build quality, fit and comfort, my sound impression, and I'll conclude with rating. All right, I'll give it a star rating, so do stay till the end to find out my rating for this. This video will have time chapters, so technically if you want to skip to the end to find out the rating, please go ahead, but I would appreciate it if you can watch my entire video. Right, so let's first start off with the specifications. Well, it's not on this box, so let me just read it to you. It is a 10mm dynamic driver, and the diaphragm is LDP. Right, it's a type of material that Kiwiears have used for the first time on this IEM. The sensitivity is 102. The impedance is 16 ohms. Okay. In terms of the accessories, right, it comes in this box here, and inside you'll find 3 sets of ear tips, small, medium, and large, and a cable. Right, for the ear tips, actually it's pretty good quality ear tip for $25. The flange is actually pretty firm, and the inner core is also pretty firm as well, as you can see. So yeah, pretty good quality ear tips. I don't mind using them. And cable is a budget cable. One look you can tell is a budget cable. So it's functional, right? It works, but it doesn't look good, of course. It comes with 3.5 angled 3.5 headphone jack, Y splitter, and ear hooks. Okay, ear hooks are pretty okay. It's nice and soft. It's got this QDC 2-pin connector to the IEM. Okay, so that's for the cable. As for the build and design of the IEM itself, is actually pretty standard. It's got this standard IEM shape. The faceplate is actually pretty modern looking. It's got 2 colors, and it's got this gradual black to blue kind of design, so pretty nice and modernized. It's contemporary looking. Okay, and then the inner shell is acrylic. As you can see the driver inside as well, so pretty standard IEM shape, and the nozzle is part of the inner shell, and it's got this metal filter at the nozzle. Okay, so yeah, pretty nice design, I would say. Pretty simple. In terms of the fit and comfort, this fits my ear pretty well, right? So no discomfort, no odd shape to it, and doesn't give me any pain when I'm wearing it. So yeah, I can wear this the whole day, no problems. Right. In terms of seal, now as I mentioned, this ear tip's actually pretty good, so it gives me a pretty good seal as well. So yeah, I think the stock ear tips are good enough for these earphones. Okay, right, so that's for the seal. Let me just talk about sound. Right, first let's talk about the drivability. Now the drivability for this, I would suggest to use at least a dongle, right? A dongle to drive this, to open up the sound and give it its maximum potential. So yeah, a dongle would be a good choice. It's not the easiest to drive. Okay, so I still can drive it with my iPad, my iPhone, Android phone, but it's not at its full performance. Okay, so to bring it up to its full performance, dongle or DAP. Okay, right, now in terms of gear matching, this is more for casual and fun sounding IEM, so I would suggest for dongles, I would suggest something warmer. Okay, maybe the TruthEars Show or the FC6. That's warm, rounder. Okay, it gives it a bit more round in terms of the sound. The Crestal is a little bit on the edgy side, so it'll bring out the edginess of this IEM. So I don't suggest to use anything that's neutral. Okay, something warm would be nice. Okay, and in terms of depths, I would say the high Bs, it's a bit on the neutral side, but it still matches the Dolce more than the Xiangling M0 Pro. Right? Xiangling M0 Pro will give it a bit more edgy sound to it. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest that. But if you want to give it a more rounder sound, a more warmer sound, then would be the Sony's. Alright, Sony's will give it a bit more warmth, a bit more roundness to the sound that this produces. Okay. Right, so that's for the gear matching for this, or my gear recommendation. In terms of tone and timbre for this is, as I mentioned, it's warm, it's casual and fun sounding, at the same time a bit serious also. So yeah, it's actually pretty okay, pretty balanced type of tone and timbre. It's not the most balanced, it's quite a bit of color to it lah. Okay, now in terms of technicalities, all right, so this, in terms of overall technicalities, this is a pretty average performer. Okay, it does the job for $25, definitely worth that $25. So in terms of the soundstage, is average soundstage, is not the widest, it's also not a very intimate soundstage. Good sound separation as well, imaging is pretty okay. I can identify where the instruments are, and in terms of detail retrieval, I would say detail retrieval is pretty okay because of the nature of the tuning of this. The bass is actually quite prominent and quite forward, so it actually veils quite a bit of details. So it's not a detail monster lah, but in terms of resolution, it's actually pretty clear for the price that you're paying. And the driver itself, it contributes to the clarity of the sound and the overall resolution of this IEM. Okay, so that's for technicalities. Now let's talk about the sound signature. Let me just bring out the graph and prop it up somewhere. So this is the graph of the Dolce, and it's actually pretty close to Harman except for the bass. So this is more of a fun harmonish type of tuning. As you can see, the sub bass is a bit elevated and it's actually pretty extended. And it's got good rumble, it's warm as well, it's pretty balanced, I would say, type of rumble. It's got that good engagement, at the same time it's not underwhelming lah. Alright, so and it's warm, it's pretty colored in terms of the rumble, so pretty okay rumble. Now in terms of the mid bass is more prominent and more forward as compared to the rumble, and I would say this is the most outstanding frequency of all the frequencies here, and you will feel a lot of thump, a lot of impact when you're listening to your tracks. Okay, so it's to a point whereby sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming. Okay, and it veils the mids lah, definitely, as you can see, but it helps a bit on the instruments that depend quite a bit on the lower octaves, and also the male vocals as well. Okay, so very prominent mid bass. In terms of the mids, vocals, male vocals is definitely sound much more engaging and warmer as compared to female vocals. Male vocals got presence, good presence, and they sound authoritative in the mix as compared to female vocals. Female vocals, in fact, they do sound pretty bright and energetic, but you know, it's got a lot of the low end that pushes their lower octaves up a bit more, so they sound a little bit I would say warm and fun. Okay, so as compared to the energetic side to it. In terms of instruments, I would say pianos, they sound pretty good on this. Trumpets okay, but overall I would say instruments, they sound a little bit veiled and laid back, and I mean it's clear, right? It's just that, yeah, a bit laid back and veiled by the bass, the mid bass. Okay, and in terms of treble is, with the gain to the treble is actually very energetic. It's a little bit on the intense side, right? It's quite intense type of treble or gain to the treble, and it's pretty bright as well. As you can see, the presence here, it does dip a little bit at the tail end here, but it's a pretty present treble. And I would say treble is pretty engaging. Okay, so for cymbal strikes and hi-hats and, you know, those crashes, cymbal crashes, shakers, they sound very engaging and pretty forward to me. And together with the air here, yeah, it brings out the presence of the treble in a very airy manner. Okay, so treble is very airy and present, at the same time a bit sibilant, a bit sibilant on this. I would say a bit harsh and a little bit sibilant. Is not the most sibilant part of this. When I listen to this, what you see here is actually my couplers artifact. It's not as high as this, okay? So it trails off pretty okay. It's got a good air to it, and the air just gives it, I mean, it gives the treble a bit more openness. Right, so that's the entire frequency for this Kiwiears Dolce. I would say in terms of the types of genre that this is suitable for, this is actually a pretty balanced tuning. It's not a very bassy IEM, it's not for bass hits, at the same time it's not for treble hits. So I would say this is quite, you know, in terms of general listening, right, casual listening, general pop, J-pop as well, hip-hop, trance, heavy metal, right, those are pretty, they play pretty well on this. Tracks like orchestras, not really. Classical music is also classical. I mean, this is not a very analytical or critical listening type of tuning, as you can see. So it's not really suitable for classical listening. I mean, though jazz sounds pretty good on this, but other than that, classical, yeah, not really suitable for that, right? But overall, sound to performance in terms of the price, right, it's $25 US. I would say it's actually a pretty good performer for this price, and I would rate this 3 out of 5 for this Kiwiears Dolce. Okay, so that's my rating for this, 3 out of 5. Alright, so that concludes my overall impression and review for this Kiwiears Dolce. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.